If your wrist hurts when you scroll on your phone, type, or lift things throughout the day, especially if you wake up with wrist pain in the morning, then this video is for you. A lot of people think that wrist pain equals arthritis, but that's not particularly true. In this video, I'm going to explain to you what causes wrist pain, why it hurts more in the morning, and what you can do to help it without overcomplicating things. Hi, my name is Dr. Jeff LaBianco, physical therapist, and wrist pain is something that I see a lot of, especially with people who type throughout the day, scroll on their phones, or use their wrists, which is basically anyone. The good news is most wrist pain is not permanent damage, and it's very manageable once you understand how it works. Let's start with what's really causing wrist pain. And the number one issue is overuse. Your wrist is controlled mostly by tendons, not big muscles. And those tendons don't like to be held in the same position all day, especially while typing on the computer or scrolling on your phone or lifting weights. Number two is prolonged wrist positioning. Again, when you're scrolling on the phone for a long time, your wrist is held in a certain position. When you're typing on the computer, your wrist is held in a certain position. When you're gripping weights, your wrist is held in a certain position. Holding it in that certain position puts strain on the tendons, and that strain turns into fatigue, which then turns into pain. And number three is something a lot of people notice: morning stiffness. Again, when you're sleeping throughout the night, your wrist isn't moving around. It's held in a certain position, sometimes flexed, sometimes extended, but either way, it's in one position, which causes that tightness to occur in the muscle fibers. So when you wake up in the morning and your wrist feels stiff and sore, don't think it's arthritis automatically. What's happening is most likely is that your wrist was held in a certain position and now it's stiff, and all you need to do is stretch it out a bit to make it feel better. Now let's compare arthritis to overuse, because this is where some people worry. If you look at the word arthritis, that means arthro and itis, or arthro joint itis inflammation. So it's joint inflammation. If you look at overuse, it's basically your tendons are being moved in a certain position throughout the day repetitively. They're being overused, they're being stressed, they're being fatigued, and then they're starting to hurt because of this fatigue. So what we want to do to help both arthritis as well as overuse is to gently move the muscles. If you were to stop using them altogether because you don't want to overuse your wrist, well, that causes that stiffness again and leads to discomfort. So what actually helps wrist pain? What can you do to make it feel better? And the answer is gentle mobility. You want to gently stretch your wrist in different positions throughout the day. And you don't want to stretch it aggressively, because by stretching it aggressively and yanking on your wrist can cause additional stress to the wrist. You want to make sure to stretch gently in different positions, because the wrist is three-dimensional. It goes down, it goes back, it goes side to side, it even goes in that three-dimensional circle. So you want to perform those gentle stretches throughout the day to prevent stiffness from occurring, to stretch out the tight tendons from overuse, and to just keep it mobile to prevent any unwanted discomfort. And you don't want to ignore grip and forearm balance. The wrist doesn't work alone. The muscles cross from the forearm through the wrist. Even the shoulder has a part in preventing wrist pain. That's why wrist pain usually shows up along with shoulder and neck pain, because it works together. If you've seen my other videos, I've already demonstrated simple wrist movements you can perform daily to decrease wrist discomfort. That's a great place to start. Now, there are times when wrist pain deserves a little bit more attention. That occurs when your wrist, hand, and fingers are totally numb and tingling. That indicates that there's some sort of compressive force on a nerve, whether it's in the carpal tunnel or the cubital tunnel of the elbow, or even the neck, which sends pain, discomfort, numbness, and tingling all the way to the wrist and fingers. If you experience any of these symptoms, I would recommend contacting your doctor to speak with a physical therapist and to get a more detailed diagnosis. But for the majority of people, wrist pain is mechanical and definitely fixable. If wrist pain has been holding you back, whether at work, at the gym, or day-to-day activities, please subscribe to my channel. I post simple therapy-based exercises that help you move better without overthinking about it. And check my description below for resources and videos that can help you decrease wrist pain starting today.